We will explain how integer factorization is done. We will use a fairy tale. The fairy tale we will use is based on a story of Pooh and Tigger involving in a race. So let us go to the internet. Let's go to factorization. And to be sure we are getting the right one, we'll put Pooh and Tigger here. So we'll search for factorization as Pooh and Tigger will do it. Then we will get, for example, as we scroll down, let's scroll down a bit, here we find factorization. It's given as a Word document on the internet. Let's see what factorization has to say. It's Piglet's polynomial time algorithm or Piglet's algorithm for factorization using the Piglet transform. There are big numbers called RSA numbers, and these can be factored using the Piglet transform. So let us try to study it through pictures. When we go down the entire document, at the end we have got pictures. A fairy tale explained through pictures. Let us go further down, still further down, still further down, still further down, still further down to part 5, still further down. And here we have got, for example, as can be explained to nursery, kindergarten and primary school children. It's a tale of two cities, a famous novel retold. We tackle a problem called integer factorization, breaking up a composite integer into its factors. We use what is called the Piglet transform. Here is a story. Once upon a time, there was a famous queen. Once upon a time, in the land of Gaul, there was a great and beautiful queen. The queen was in her parlor eating bread and honey. Now the people in the city were making a lot of noise. The queen wanted to know what that horrible noise was all about. She was told the people were complaining they did not have bread to eat. The queen said, no bread, let them eat cakes. The queen ordered that cakes be distributed freely. With cakes for every occasion. All the people in the city should get cakes. Everybody loves cakes. All the people in the universe should get cakes. An unlimited amount of royal cake should be distributed to all the people. Piglet was appointed Director General of the Royal Cake Distribution Project. So Piglet is the Director General of the Royal Cake Distribution Project. Now the king was in the counting house, counting out his money. The king heard about the royal proclamation made by the queen. He looked up his piggy bank. He did not have money to feed himself, let alone the entire universe and everybody in it. So the promise has been made, and the king's promise has to be upheld. And the queen's promise has to be honored. A royal promise is a royal promise. So he went. In desperation, the king sent a messenger to the Tsar of Russia asking for advice. Here is the Tsar sitting on top of the pyramid. The Tsar of Russia sent for the Euler. He sent for the famous, great and mighty mathematician Euler. But Euler had absconded. He had run away to the land of God, of the gods. Euler absconded to the land of the gods. So the Tsar of Russia could not help the king of Gaul. He told him sorry. So the king of Gaul sent another messenger, post haste, full speed, the emperor of the land of gods for help. Here was Euler. The emperor was ordered. The emperor ordered Euler. Emperor Euler was ordered by the emperor of the land of gods to help the king of Gaul. He was commanded to find a solution to the cake problem. So Euler came, looked up the map and arrived at Gaul and studied the problem. He told Piglet that it was a very trivial matter to find a solution. He gave some equations. All that Piglet had to do was isolate a city with a large population. And then, once the population has been found, there are people there, they have to be given cakes to eat. The first house is given 1 milligram of cake. Second house is given half a milligram of cake. Third house little less, 1/3. Fourth house a little less, 1/4. Fifth house a little less, 1/5, and so on. So all the people in the city are fed, distribution can stop. Euler told Piglet this relied on what our mathematics call the harmonic progression. So it goes on, little bit less. In principle, unlimited amount of cake will be needed if everybody in the universe is to be fed. With this method, the royal promise of the queen is upheld. And however, the amount of cake required is very little. It becomes less and more people can be fed. So progression, we say, grows very slowly. So if you have so many zeros, the number of people, it takes very little amount of cake to feed, therefore, a googol number of people. 1,000th of a half kilogram cake will be enough. The king is very happy. This should not cost much, maybe just a penny, or it could be taken from the royal table. The king will have to part very little from his piggy bank, at most a couple of pennies, at most his royal piggy bank. The maid was in the garden hanging out the clothes. The maid told Piglet the people in the universe should be fed in stages. So what she says is for each stage, a number should be chosen. You break it up into stages, and each stage a number should be chosen. A city which should be filled, there is a city filled with a population based upon the number which is chosen. Then the cake should be distributed in the city, the people in the city should be fed. Now we need a budget. It will be possible to clearly budget how much of cake or how much of money is needed to buy the cake and distribute it. This as per the formulas given by Euler. So Piglet comes up with a method now known as the Piglet transform. Piglet decided to start the cake distribution in 2 cities at the same time. Piglet decides on Tokyo in Japan. Piglet petitions the Emperor of Japan for permission to distribute the royal cakes in the populous city of Tokyo. Piglet petitions the King of England for permission to distribute the royal cakes in the respective colonies. Piglet looks up the map and decides to start with New York, which is a populous city. Piglet receives the imperial assent for the Tokyo distribution. Piglet receives the royal permission for distribution of the cake in New York. Pooh is appointed Deputy Distributor General of the royal cakes for Tokyo. Tigger is appointed Deputy Distributor General royal cakes for New York. Immediately, cake distribution starts. People rush to the cities. People start rushing into both cities for royal cakes, and the population builds up. The population is controlled. Population restricted based on the initial number chosen. The cake distribution starts to citizens of the 2 cities. It runs into problems in Japan because the troublesome silk traders start trading cakes. They walk off with morsels of cakes. They pirate it. This puts Tigger in a spot. The Red Indians do not want foreigners in New York. So they start trading. They do not want foreigners squatting in their backyard. They start trading and walking off with bottles of cakes. They become pirates. This puts Tigger in a spot. When the raiding of cakes becomes too much, the unwanted raiding of cakes is called the problem of residues by mathematicians. When the residues become too much, Substantial amount of cake has been ready tested, recovered, and properly distributed. This keeps Pooh and Tigger alert, almost continuously active under high pressure. Another problem arises. Tigger is hyperactive and aggressive compared to Pooh. Tigger tends to distribute the cakes faster than Pooh in a show of one page. Tigger what say is better off than Pooh. So what Pooh has to do is keep track of where Tigger is. Pooh has to estimate where Tigger is. Pooh has a trouble of estimating where Tigger is. Pooh uses Tigger estimate high, Tigger estimate low to determine where Tigger is. Pooh then catches up with Tigger. Now, Pooh has to catch up with Tigger, that's what Piglet has directed. That the cake should be distributed at the same pace. Once the cakes are distributed, problems will still come. The citizens of the two cities start comparing the cakes. One more, one less. Being human, the citizens of both cities start comparing the size of cakes they have received. A citizen of one city in a particular address suddenly wakes up. So one citizen woken up. A corresponding citizen in the other city wakes up. They compare the cakes. They compare the size of morsels of cakes they have received. They should match. Now along came a blackbird and pecked at the maid's nose. If the number is a prime number, no trouble comes from the comparison. However, the number is not a prime, problem will come. The number is not a prime and can be factored, problems come. A resonance condition comes. It's a big bang. A resonance condition is set up between the two corresponding addresses, and the two people in the two cities start fighting. This occurs exactly where the factors of the number are. The factors now stand out as sore thumbs whenever the resonance comes. Now, Pooh and Tigger want to be paid a penny a day for distribution of the cakes. The populations are so large like a Google, they add up to enormous amount of money. Too much money has to be given. Millions of dollars will have to be spent. So, they should start well or do it half done. They should not distribute the cakes to all the houses in the cities. So what Piglet does is what is normally done with big universal bank loans all over the world. So what Piglet does is done with massive universal bank loans and with many government mega projects which are announced. Piglet and Pooh and Tigger. Piglet allows Pooh and Tigger to distribute the cakes to some houses for a day, and after the sloppy work, pay them a penny each. Then Pooh and Tigger are given medals. Then they wait patiently forever for a shipment of cakes which will never come. They keep on waiting. Piglet starts creating documentation, enormous documentation. So Piglet creates enormous make-believe documentation that the job has been done. The make-believe documents declare that everyone in the two cities receive cakes. Enough checks are created so anyone verifies. It appears as if all the people in the city have received cakes. If the number is a prime, everything goes off quietly. The checks will be enough. If a number can be factored, there is a problem. A house in Pooh's city and a house in Tigger's city make a big fuss, and resonance results. So what Piglet does is lines up the citizens of the two cities in pairs. All pairs are taken. Piglet does not actually line them up. What Piglet does, it creates a virtual dictionary of all pairs of houses, one from each city. It's an imaginary dictionary consisting of imaginary lineup of pairs of citizens, one from each city. Piglet searches the dictionary. Using a dictionary search, it's very fast. Piglet guesses where a pear is and searches the neighborhood. Piglet keeps on repeating the search till the troublesome citizens, if any, are found. The troublesome pairs of citizens are dumped into a drum. Then a lid is put onto the drum. Everything is quiet now. Now, Pooh, Tigger, and Piglet are given big bronze medals for their work. However, they want money. Pooh, Tigger demand a big fat fee for the work. The French Revolution comes along as far as the cake problem is concerned. So, Pooh, Tigger, and Piglet decamp, empty-handed but in one piece to New York. And that is where Pooh and his prince live to this very day. That's all, folks. This is a famous integer factorization algorithm using the Piglet transform. Initially studied 400 years ago by Fermat. 100 years later it was studied by Euler. 100 years later it was studied by Gauss. 100 years later it was noted by the great Hilbert. 100 years later it has been solved by Piglet using the Piglet transform. The process has taken 400 years.